Do it on the trackpad.
Yeah, click it and then hit the arrow.
Yeah. So my essential question was, what are the essential steps to fundraising for a radar speed sign in order to keep Mill Street safer? In this presentation, I will talk about why I chose this project, what I hope to achieve, the fundraising that I did, the tournament that I had, and overall reflection of the project. Why I chose this topic. So the number one reason I chose this topic was I wanted to do something to serve the community, and I have a very strong desire to protect, help, and to keep people safe. So I believe this project did just that. I also wanted to get the students and teachers active, and I wanted to give them a fun environment and something fun to do. I've been playing volleyball since I was in 8th grade, so I wanted to incorporate volleyball into my senior project to teach more about volleyball. So my mentor was Dale Bickford. I chose him to be my mentor because he's a police officer at the Mills Police Department, and at the Mills Police Department, he is the treasurer, and as a treasurer, you're organizing a lot of the fundraisers and you're keeping track of all the money. So he was very helpful in coming up with different fundraising ideas and helping me step by step for my tournament. So the main goal that I had was to get the radar speed sign. Currently it is not up, but and then I also wanted to get students and teachers together. I heard that the intramural volleyball tournament that the school had a few years ago was very successful, so I wanted to bring that back to hopefully give something for the students to look forward to and something else that's different. I also wanted more people to learn about volleyball. It's a very fun sport, and you can play it wherever you want, at the beach, and I just feel like it was very fun for everybody. So for the process, I had to figure out a date. I ended up choosing March 14th to March 17th, but I ended up doing the tournament March 15th to March 17th because I figured I didn't need that extra day. The 3 days that I had was perfect. And then I needed to get approval. The first two people that I needed approval from was Chiefs of Fire and Officer Bickford. I needed to make sure that I could actually go through with this project and to make sure that I could actually get the radar speed sign after I raised the funds. And then the next people I needed approval from was Mr. Dickey and Mr. Mullaney. I needed approval for the gym and the dates of the gym. So for the online fundraising, I did 2 different ways. So I had my Venmo account. I opened a checking account at Middlesex Savings Bank, so I could link that to my personal Venmo account, and so I could have people donate there. And then I also had a Facebook fundraiser where I posted it on the Mills Unplugged Facebook page, and then as you can see, I posted it on my Snapchat story, just kind of showing where you can donate. So for the tournament, I ended up sending out a Google form to everybody. I had Mr. Dickey send it out, and in the Google form, you just had to talk about your name, how many players are on your team, who's on your team, phone number, all that basic stuff. So I ended up doing $10 a person, so $50 a team, and ended up getting 8 teams in total. So for spreading the word, I emailed Mrs. Bedard if she could have Mr. Dickey make an announcement for the tournament. So she was helpful and emailed or had Mr. Dickey make the announcement. And then I also, as I showed before, I had social media. I posted on my Snapchat, Facebook, and then I would also go up to people at lunch and be like, hey, sign up for my tournament, it's gonna be fun. And a lot of people kind of got annoyed with that. You gotta do what you gotta do. And then Mrs. Diver was very kind enough to put the dates of my tournament outside Mills High School for the board. So for the tournament, I ended up getting 8 teams, as I said. It was a double elimination bracket, so everybody had to play each other basically. And I think it was fair for everybody because if you lose once, you still have another chance, but if you lose twice, you're done. And the day of the tournament, I had someone come up to me and ask if they could get another 2 teams. And I didn't really know how that would work, but I was like, all right, might as well. And then they ended up bailing, and I was like, all right. So that was kind of unfortunate, but ended up working out very well. the tournament was very smooth and I think it was very good for having 8 teams. The Jackson 5 ended up winning, which was a team of Thomas Azier, which filled in for Jess Collin the last day, Braden McPhee, Nick Quinzani, Emmett Clark, and Alex Joseph. So for the prize, Tabletop Pizza in Holliston was very kind enough to donate 5 $15 gift cards, and then 5 free pizzas. I knew I wanted to try and hopefully get a pizza shop to donate to me, and so I figured might as well ask Tabletop because Mr. Azier, Thomas Azier's dad, owns a store. So he was very kind, he was very cooperative, and helped me out a lot, trying to get everything sorted out. And right there, that was a losing team of the tournament, eating in the gym after. So what it looks like now. So I handed in the check to the Mills Police Department the other day, and they ended up, so they're deciding to build the radar speed sign on Village Street, and I think this radar speed sign will actually be a lot better than the speed bumps they have on Spring Street because, those are just terrible. So I hope that in the next few years that either freshman, sophomore, or junior, when they're seniors, that I hope that they'll be able to continue the tournament because I just feel like it'd be good for everybody. So the successes, a lot of the players had fun. Everybody I talked to, they had a blast, and a lot of people at the school was talking about it on the day of the tournament, and it just was very fun for me personally. And then the tournament was very competitive. Everybody was getting at each other, complaining. I was the ref, so everybody complained to me when I made a bad call. And then we ended up getting a new player on the boys volleyball team. He played in the tournament, and then he ended up showing up to tryouts on the following Monday, which was very good. And this is the winning team right there, just enjoying their pizza. And so the failure and obstacles, the main failure that I had was I did not reach my target amount. I was aiming for $2,000, and I only got $563, which was very unfortunate. But if I were to do something different, I'd definitely try and spread the word even better. I thought I did, but I didn't, and maybe have some more fundraisers. So, and another thing I had to do was I had to move around schedules. So a lot of the teachers that were in my tournament, they couldn't stay later, so I had to move their games up, or if someone had work, I had to try and move their games up, or I had to push games back, and it was kind of a little bit difficult because people would come up to me and be like, oh, sorry, I can't play this time. And then there were also some people that were sick, so I just kind of pulled people from the stands, hey, come play with them. And even if they didn't want to, but ended up having fun. And then, so I had to change dates of the tournament. I first had it planned to have it on March 7th to March 10th. But the girls' basketball team was still in season, so I decided to push it back a week because I didn't want to have to compete with gym space and compete with them for that. So what I learned from this project was I learned how to run a tournament. Not everything will be perfect, and there's always something that needs to be fixed. I took a lot out of this. It just kind of showed me that I can do something by myself, and obviously I couldn't have done it with other people, but it gave me confidence later on in life. So if I were to do something like this, then I know how to do it. So here are a few videos from the tournament. I don't know if you guys can see that, but. As you can see, a ton of people were excited when they scored a point or when they missed the serve. very helpful in the whole process. He was giving me a lot of advice, and he's kind of taking me step by step to what I need to do. I also like to thank Liz Yates. She came in the day of my tournament, and she was giving me like little details I need to be fixed. And she was also the ref for 2 days of the tournament. And I also like to thank the participants and the donators of my project. I like to thank Mills, the police department, and Tabletop Pizza for donating the pizzas and the gift certificates. And then I also like to thank Mr. Carter for all the help and answering all my questions throughout the year. Work-cited questions.